Rabbi Tuly Weisz, founder of Israel 365, just a few days ago, right before the election, you orchestrated a letter signed by 90 Orthodox rabbis. You put it together just in a matter of a day or two, supporting President Trump, endorsing him. What led you to put out that letter? Why was it so important to you to get a letter signed by Orthodox rabbis?
Well, the Harris campaign was trying to put out a disingenuous false story that the Orthodox community was supporting her, and they announced that they had 33 Orthodox rabbis who endorsed Kamala Harris for president. And I look at the list of rabbis, and I was a rabbi in America for a number of years, so I know the American rabbinate very well. I didn't recognize any of the names on that list. And so I thought to myself, what's going on here? And we know that the Orthodox community is with Trump in a major way. Brought him to victory. The Orthodox community was celebrating the Trump campaign. And so I quickly put together this letter, this petition, endorsing President Trump, signed by Orthodox rabbis. And in a day, we had 90 rabbis who signed that, Orthodox rabbis.
Yeah, given a couple days, you probably would have had hundreds.
Yeah, they had 5 days. They organized 33 who were neither Orthodox nor rabbis, and in a day we had 90. We would have gotten a lot more. And the Orthodox community is definitely with Trump, has been from the very beginning.
This is a really important point that people tend to think of the Jewish vote, but even going back to 2020, according to Pew Research, 80% of Orthodox Jews supported President Trump, while 79%, basically the same number, of non-Orthodox Jews supported Joe Biden. So why do you think it's so important that, to let the world know that the Orthodox Jewish community is supportive of President Trump and is so disparate, is so distant from the political views of the progressive parts of the Jewish community?
I think that this election really begins a new day where Orthodox Jews and the Orthodox community needs to step up and assume a position of leadership in the American Jewish community. This is a very bad election for conservative and Reform Jews who have really aligned themselves with the most progressive wing of the Democratic Party. And this election was a total rejection of those values, whereas the Orthodox community is now basking in some relief that we finally will have a president who will stand with Israel, which is obviously a top priority in the Orthodox community. And so it's time for the Orthodox community to kind of grow up a little bit and assume its position of leadership.
Yeah, and we even see it in the previous Trump administration. The Jews who served important roles in that administration, people like Ambassador David Friedman, Jason Greenblatt, and even Trump's own daughter and son-in-law are all part of the Orthodox Jewish community. So maybe it is really time for America to know that the Orthodox Jewish community is really on the side of conservative political positions, and in this case, supporting President Trump.
Absolutely. And Ambassador David Friedman is a great example. He has been very busy over the last number of months writing and promoting his new book, One Jewish State, which is a new idea, at least in the conventional wisdom. Everybody has been talking about the two-state solution for a very long time, and he has been really the first to articulate and outline an alternative to the two-state delusion. And he wrote this book, which we hope will now become policy in the next Trump administration. He's been one of the very few who has been with Trump from the very beginning, and he still has Trump's ear in a very significant way, and his book is now, taking the Jewish community and the pro-Israel Christian community by storm with this vision of Jewish sovereignty throughout Judea and Samaria. It's really exciting. At Israel 365, we've taken his vision of the one Jewish state, and we formed a party in the World Zionist Congress. As you know, you're involved with that. And we're hoping to make a movement, begin a new day in the Jewish community to show that the Jewish community in America is much more conservative than in the olden days, in the 90s, and that has really paved the ground for the two-state solution. We've had a total rejection of the two-state thinking and all of this sort of these failed ideas that got us to where we are, and God willing, we could expect and hope for, pray for really, great things in the next Trump administration. We really have to, as the Orthodox community, I could say that we have to thank Hashem, thank God for really, we were it was a scary year. It's a very bad year where America and Israel were fighting with each other. And there was so much criticism of Israel as we were battling for our lives. And we can just breathe a sigh of relief that Hashem has shown that things are going to be okay. And he put back into office the best friend that Israel has had out of any American president.
Yeah, and this really resonates with me, that the Orthodox Jewish community, which really our political views, our policy views, all as they should come from a place of a biblical perspective, a perspective of faith in God and faith in what the Torah teaches us. And obviously the Torah teaches us, first and foremost, that the land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people. So if through Ambassador Friedman or other efforts or people like yourself, we could end up making an approach that is consistent with the Torah and consistent with Tanakh into the policy of the most powerful country in the world, we will really be in a better place with our policy aligned with what God has told us.
Absolutely. And because I work so much with the Christian community, as you do you, they talk a lot about how God is really, has the Cyrus anointing on President Trump. And, we don't necessarily talk in that same language, but clearly Hashem, God, is using President Trump to do very good things for America and for Israel.
Rabbi Tuly Weisz, founder of Israel 365, thank you for joining us on the Israel 365 ARUTZ SHEVA election special.